Is not taking a break this Christmas. The president may be golfing, but a lot of people are starting to gear up for the midterm elections. That's right, next year. And looking ahead at the race for the White House in 2016 as well. Obamacare could make some races much more competitive. Already we have some frontrunners for the race for the White House. Let's bring in our political panel. Erickson, senior correspondent for the Washington Examiner, and Doug Schoen, a Fox News contributor, former advisor to President Bill Clinton. And although they are very much respected here, they are not the frontrunners I'm talking about. Neither of you guys are running, right? Ready to announce? No, didn't think so.
No, indeed.
No, that's not going to happen.
Probably know too much to even be interested. But it is so interesting that at this early time, Doug, the Real Clear Politics average poll is already showing Hillary Clinton with a huge, more than 50% spread. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Hillary is the consensus nominee of the Democratic Party, should she decide to run. And I'm one of those who, like many, believes she will run. She's in a neck-and-neck race in the general election, so the real challenge for her, I think, is not so much the primary, but the ultimate contest in November 2016.
And Eric, nothing's really changed in terms of her popularity or interest or her name coming up. She says that she told Barbara Walters in an interview after being named one of the most fascinating people of 2013 that we'll know what her plans are early in next year. She's pretty much kept the spread that she has over any other candidates, including Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, Biden, Warren, other names that come up, Elizabeth Warren. What would she need to do to increase the spread or at least maintain what she has, the percentage she has, come primary time?
You know, I think that once she actually announces, it'll probably go up a little more. I think most people think she's going to announce, but there are a lot of people who aren't paying attention to 2016 yet. We're kind of anomalous in paying attention. Once she announces, the popularity among Democrats, I think, will go up some. But remember, she's very, very well known already. She does have a cap she may not be able to overcome. And having been President Obama's Secretary of State and therefore tied to some degree to the Obama administration, if the health care law continues to drag down the president, it may start dragging down people who've been in his administration. She's going to need to be able to thread the needle carefully to make sure people know she was the Secretary of State and a senator and a First Lady, but she's not really of the Obama administration.
Interesting point. Doug, when we look at the Republican side, and I want to put up some numbers again of these averages, you know, the name Ted Cruz is probably now more well-known than it ever was. And Rand Paul has certainly been making the rounds as well. But you hear a lot about Chris Christie. Why?
Sure. Well, you hear about Chris Christie because he won overwhelmingly about 60% in a blue state. He is somebody who is a fiscal conservative, probably a social moderate to some extent. The interesting thing, though, about those primary numbers, Jamie, if you combine Ted Cruz and Rand Paul, who appeal to the same constituency, you get 26%, which is even greater than the 20% that Chris Christie was getting. So we're in for a tough, tough Republican fight. Christie's the front runner now, but not really at all clear how long or in what way that lead will manifest itself.
Do you think Ryan has any advantage, Eric, because his name is more well-known either for budget reasons or for being involved in races previously?
Well, you know, I actually think Ryan and Christie are experiencing to some degree the same phenomenon. They're most familiar to the voters, Ryan having been the vice presidential nominee and at the forefront of the budget crisis. I think Ryan's probably going to be hurt, though, by his debt deal and other things. Other conservatives will seize on those. And a lot of the establishment likes Chris Christie. Chris Christie, frankly, is benefiting by being the Republican governor closest to New York City, where most of the media is.
Doug, what do you think the most important issue is to Democrats if the election were right now, the 2016, and to Republicans?
Well, I think we have two or three issues. I think the economy looms large. It hasn't been talked about much, but bottom line, the recovery is still tepid, and even though Wall Street's gone up, it hasn't been manifest in either the economic growth or the job creation numbers. The Affordable Care Act, as you were saying before, for both sides, is a critical issue. And I predict that Obama's going to try to get immigration through the House and Senate next year. Will probably be as tough sledding, and that's almost certainly going to be an issue as we go forward.
Erick, you have any to add?
You know, I would highlight the economy. In the AP poll of top stories for 2013, the economy wasn't listed, but that doesn't mean it's not a story for the middle class. And Doug's right, the middle class isn't really being benefited, although Wall Street is. That's going to be a populist issue both sides have to deal with in 2014 and 2016.
All right, great discussion, debate today. Erick Erickson, Doug Schoen, Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you.
Sure.